Hello there, folks. UFL Jim here with a relaxing, serene, peaceful, not at all chaotic Week 5 UFL preview. We have some fun games to get to. We have a nice interview with Posh Clevelander coming up. And we have absolutely no chaos. So, let's get into it, shall we? Thank you. Yeah. It's all about me.
It's the UFL show with UFL Jim, your one-stop shop for all things United Football League. We have a sexual
Cheers to you,
tension. We have
Memphis
the
show.
heat. We have the power. We have the news. It's all here on the UFL show with UFL Jim.
So, if we're talking overview for week 5, there's a lot to get into. Number one, of course, is will this be the week of chaos as it usually is? Week 5, if you look back historically, XFL 2020, USFL 2022, XFL 2023, USFL 2023, it has been a week of flips, a week of turns, week of twists, where the bottom becomes the top and the top becomes the bottom. I'm wondering if we see that this week. We have some prime opportunities. Memphis. I'm also excited to see how the new quarterbacks shift up because we get a lot of new quarterbacks this week. We get McClendon getting his first full start and for Houston. We get Max Duggan getting his first full start for St. Louis. And we get Dresser Wynn versus Case Cookus for Memphis versus Birmingham. Cookus versus his old team, Dresser Wynn. Can he will this team? There's a lot of different storylines going on when it comes to quarterbacks, and I am excited for each and every one of them. Speaking of quarterbacks, I'm excited to see now that Danny Etling is back for the Panthers, will he get some playing time? Are they going to go back to splitting, or have they seen enough? Has Mike Nolan seen enough to know that Bryce Perkins should be, and honestly, will be, I assume, the full-time starter? If not, if the fact that every single fan of the Panthers and of any other team in the league knows that Bryce Perkins is the best player for that team, but Mike Nolan doesn't, something's a little off. Something's a little off there. I'm also interested to see how the ratings for the UFL compare to the NFL draft. And I know I'm not usually a ratings slut, but I'm excited to see how they look because sometimes I can call people not real football fans if they'd rather watch people talk about guys who may or may not be good at football versus watching a league who I know the guys are good at football. Everyone, I'd like to welcome Posh Clevelander onto the show. Everyone give her a round of applause. Why don't you begin by telling us exactly who Posh Clevelander is?
Well, I am Posh _ Clevelander. I am since December. I've been with at bougiesports.net or bougiesports.net. It was envisioned by Yvette. When you follow Bougie Sports, you'll see her lovely, tall Wonder Woman frame, Yvette. She envisioned Bougie Sports, and basically Bougie Sports is just, we're still women, love the sports tea, but we love sports. We love sports, and we love researching and bringing it to Cleveland. Cleveland's our hometown. So we're all connected to Cleveland. Cleveland is my hometown. I moved to St. Louis since '05, but that's how we're all connected. That's how we all found each other on Brown's Twitter. And so we just love sports, everything about it, and learning and growing and moving and being out there. But we do pop culture, the fashion, the walkthrough. So yeah, we're sports. We know our shit. We make sure we come correct. And when we don't, we throw it out to you guys. But we love it, and we add a little bit of girl to it too, that hence the
Mm-hmm.
color, the icon of pink and green. But we love sports, and we found out most of us have raised boys. Most of us has raised boys, except for our leader, but most of us have raised boys, and that's one thing that really kind of connects us all. Cleveland sports, Cleveland trauma, sports trauma, and raising boys and things like that.
And what got you into spring football?
Spring football. What got me to spring football is, first of all, as you can know, I'm originally from Cleveland. I moved to St. Louis in '05. I lost my football team twice. Hence the poster behind me. I lost my football team twice. That is actually the poster my son took 10/25/2015. That was the last St. Louis Rams game we went to. St. Louis Rams game we went to. I lost my football team twice, living in Cleveland, then moved to St. Louis in '05, and then Kroenke took the team to St. Louis. Took the team to California. That was the last game that I experienced here, last Rams game. And at that game, Haslam engaged us more than the owner, Kroenke. Um, but Bucks formed in XFL before the pandemic. Of course, I was excited about that. And then, as you know, Rock and his ex-boo, Danny Garcia, bought it, and they merged it together to form the UFL. I was so engaged. Now, that's just half of the story. When the coach, Anthony Beck, his son is Rocco Beck. My son is an alma mater of Iowa State. So Iowa State is all up in the Battlehawks. Okay, the coach's son is a quarterback of the Iowa State, and there's several players. There's three players that are from Iowa State. Dr. Chase Allen, Willie Harvey, Hakeem Butler, and Mike Rose. They're all from Iowa State. So I saw them play at my son's school when they were young on a cold Iowa night. I saw them play. So imagine me, it's like a mom feeling, seeing these young players matriculate through at Iowa State and play now for my home team of Battlehawks. Plus, Willie Harvey is a former Brown too. So that's why that's why I'm so gung-ho about it, about the Battlehawks. And I get so excited. And I recently tweeted a picture where I met Rocco Beck at the game, and told him I was more excited actually to meet him than his own dad, because he attended my son alma mater, and he brought the championship home for the Pop-Tart Bowl. I told Rocco Beck, I'm like, hey, you give your dad some advice about winning a championship now. You brought the one of the best bowl games ever, most marketing genius bowls ever, the Pop-Tart Bowl. Actually, I'm more proud of that one than the Peach Bowl. It was more exciting. It was hilarious, the Pop-Tart Bowl. So I get so excited. And by the way, my son went to the vice president of UFL's Battlehawks there. But yeah. But
Nice.
This season, reporting on it, trying to give some details. I'm learning. I'm trying to be unbiased, but it does come out. Of course, it does come out. But I loved how it was the boatsman from Memphis Showboat. And then I was so honored to have someone from United Football Media Be sure to follow them at _UFM. SA Bullpen, I had him on. So I was so excited. So I'm learning about the other players. Like I was excited that Kellen Mond, a former Brown, by the way, got his first win this weekend. The Browns got their first win this weekend. So, I forgot. Seneca Wallace, a former quarterback from Iowa State. He's quarterback coach of the Battlehawks. So I was so excited about that too. So I just love the Battlehawks, good memories at Iowa State. Good memories at Iowa State Cyclones. Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great. What's with the whole quarterback situation in the league? We got guys going down left and right. Your St. Louis Battlehawks were hit particularly hard. I'd like to learn a little bit more about that.
What other options they have, because, Manny is down health-wise. Max Duggan, he was, because of the inexperience, he was holding on to the ball too long. And you got a quarterback that's holding on to the ball too long. You've got to have an O-line that is able to give them more time than what they're used to. And if the O-line is just used to, the trouble was started, when Manny was scrambling a little too much, I don't know if he didn't trust his O-line. Was that judgment? So what makes a quarterback scramble too much? Is it lack of trust to your O-line? Because I knew we were in for disaster when I saw him doing too much. I'm like, is he trying to make film so he could be somewhere in June? You know what I mean? But I just felt he didn't trust his O-line and he was scrambling a little too much.
What's up with the Memphis Showboats, huh?
Things started. You can't just blame Coach Wiesenhunt being in and out. That would be the easier option to have. It started with Dave Wu. Remember when Dave Wu wasn't at camp and they hid secret from everybody? It was like it came out that there was no Dave Wu at camp. And everyone was like, what? So if you depended on those key pieces, if you didn't have those key pieces at camp, and so it started in camp, the breakdown started in camp because they didn't have Daewoo. They didn't, and he was the major star. He was the major star. Now, and I learned about Darius Victor, and I was like watching him and learning him, and I am a Darius Victor fan. And they cut Darius Victor. In fact, one of the opening of the show, when the votes, the shock on my face is when he told me that Darius Victor has not been re-signed. Okay. And Darius Victor, I feel, yes, he's older, but like I showed in my show that he is 30 and Darius Sproles, who he's equal to in stock. And so Showboats, you need to just call, like I said, like the song says, you better call Tyrone, Erykah Badu saying, you better call Victor because it's strengthening your run game. You know what I mean? And he will rally the troops. A familiar face will rally. The troops will be a rallying call for them. They need to strengthen their run game. I think that's the only help right now.
What's been your biggest surprise of the season so far?
For this season, Hakeem. Not having Hakeem. I don't know. He's been plagued by injury tweaks. Now, this is what I'm hoping. Okay. The Steelers had Russell Wilson, okay, and they kept him. I call it Operation Tupperware. They kept Russell Wilson. He's got one of the AFC NFC North season's about to happen. What do you know? He's healthy. Wow. I will go to my grave believing Tomlin kept Russell leftover Tupperware fresh in the kingdom. I really felt, but it backfired because he didn't get that real world practice. Okay, that's what I will go to my grave. Okay, saying I hope this is happening with him. Okay, I hope this is happening with him. I hope this. I don't know. I hope you know. Delete this video. but I don't know because he love to tell you guys just don't know. On a cold Iowa night, singing Hakeem Butler, y'all don't. It's like, or Brees Hall, you guys don't know. And his potential has just been stifled. Yeah, I don't know. That has just been the surprising thing to a lot of people, not having Hakeem.
Who's your championship winner, huh?
I say Stallions. Let's not say we're not say Stallions. We're not. I say DC. DC is taking this all. Yeah. Dare I say DC is taking it all. I think DC is Te'amu is you've got I've seen them play perfectly, making not just halftime, but making adjustments. I see them is DC taking it all.
If you could say one thing to the brass of the UFL, what would it
be? Protect their health. And protect their health. Just asking some players to make sure they reach out to their team doctor so that they know how to fall. Okay. So know how to fall. Make sure they have a really good engaged medical team that is pro players, not pro management. Really important. I want the team doctors to remember their Hippocratic oath and protect the players' health and teach them how to fall. That is the biggest thing to me. And the next expansion team needs to be Cleveland. Here's why. There's so many options you can do. You can do moving to Brook Park to build a dome. You can use the current stadium downtown Cleveland. So therefore the UFL will have a season that is from March to June, and the Brown August to February. And so that'll help the whole region. That's one option. You could play in Canton if you want to. The Canton Pro Football Hall of Stadium. You can do it was a KSU agent ticker, but it gave the suggestion of doing a UFL team that is a good region. That is a good region to have a UFL team. Cleveland fans will go, outline fans can go, can see that those are core areas to go. Cleveland is the basket with John Carroll, There's a map. If you follow at Sir_Yacht, he made it showed like a map of all of the coaches and what have you that have been born, what it is in the water. Uh, but I think it's the corn, the Midwestern women we eat, So us Midwestern women, we ain't ashamed to eat cornbread. So I think that's what it is. We breed men that are husky. So we also breed football minds. So yeah, we gotta have a UFL team in Cleveland. And finally, I understand. I Dragons. I understand. So they had to think about cost. So they're keeping. You can see on the map of all the UFL teams, they're all in a line right here with travel. Ohio would not be that far from St. Louis. I fly St. Louis to Cleveland. It's an 8-hour drive. 8-hour flight. 8-hour flight. It's just shorter than that, like that. So Ohio, a Cleveland UFL team will not be far from you guys to travel at all. It won't be far. It'll be along that line of all the UFL teams on that map. If you look on the map.
What are your picks?
So April 26th, I want to encourage everybody, if you're coming to St. Louis, do the gauntlet, because April 26th, we've got a Cardinals game at 1:00 you can go to, and then the Battlehawks game is at 6:00 Central you can go to. So do the gauntlet. So do the gauntlet in your own town or here in St. Louis. I want to encourage everybody to do. Anyhow, we've got Friday night. We've got Memphis at Stallions. Let's go crazy. Let's go Memphis. Let's go crazy. Let's go Cinderella. There's always a Cinderella pick. Okay. There's always a Cinderella pick. So let's go crazy. Let's say Memphis Showboats. Posh is picking Showboats. She's picking next Battlehawks. Then she's picking DC at Renegades. I am picking Renegades. They were so happy to beat my Battlehawks. They're going to go on a tear. I say Renegades are going to win that one. And then I am picking Roughnecks for the 3:00 Eastern game for Houston Roughnecks at Browns.
Okay, thank you, Posh Clevelander. Shout out your stuff. Let the people know where they can find you.
By the time you see this, guys, we would have had collab week on Tuesday. My other teammates are going to be with Winecast profile right now, but we're going to be with doing wrestling. WrestleMania happened this weekend, and so much happened this weekend. I can't wait to see the results of the ratings, because so much happened. It was hard for me to keep up with what's going on, but so much is happening this weekend. But go back, and after you watch XFL Jim's show, come back and sports. We're going to be at WWD Cast. They're going to call a wind down. A bunch of ladies are wind down and they drink wine and talk about the WrestleMania. They're shooting that tomorrow live. Simultaneously on Friday, you're going to see me here, but I will also be on at Lou McCartney's Burn River podcast with my fellow bougie girl, at Browns Fan Girl. We're going to be talking the NFL draft and UFL. Hey, see those guys. you may one day see this, guys. I'm trying to get get a one of the draft. I tried to get some of these my show. They were like that. I still wanted them, so it's still worth it to watch the draft and see what happens, especially those Browns pick. Who knows what wisdom we have there? You'll see them in the UFL, but anyway, I hope for the best. But whatever you do, go to the UFL, watch the UFL, tell a friend about them. Those are just men. I'm so happy they reached a deal. I'm so happy they're going to have health care all around. I'm so happy for the UFL to still remain and still stand.
Game number 1, we have the Memphis Showboats versus the Birmingham Stallions. 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox this Friday. There's a couple takes I have that I want to get off. Number 1, what's the environment going to be like in Birmingham? Those guys, those shirtless dudes in the end zone, they always get me tweaking, and they're going to do it again this week. But we've also seen that Birmingham can be disappointing when it comes to a team that you expect. You have these championship, lofty goals for this team. They've won all the time, but they still don't bring in the crowds that many people think that they should. But that's beside the point, because the football is going to be awesome. Or is it? Because Friday night games this season have been absolutely shit. I wonder if that trend will continue. I doubt it. But I wonder. Memphis, we have Dresser Wynn, their third stringer, getting a shot in a big primetime game, and I couldn't be more jacked for the guy. The Showboats have the only 0-win. The Showboats are the only 0-win team in the league so far, and I wonder if they put a stop to that now in the week of chaos. Case Cookus and the Birmingham Stallions, though, will have something to say about it, as Cookus faces off against his former team, the Memphis Showboats. The lights are going to be bright, the vibes are going to be high, and the game is going to be electric. This game is going to be sloppy. It's going to be a defensive battle. I expect a bounce back for the defensive front of Memphis. Birmingham, I don't know. They've been kind of sloppy when it comes to penalties. Got to clean that up. Guys. And they get Jamar back, too. Third stringer, Jamar Smith, QB3. It's going to be an awesome game. You should watch it. Friday night, I'll be streaming it. You should watch. It's going to be fun. UFL, baby. Game number 2, we have the Michigan Panthers taking on the St. Louis Battlehawks. A battle of the potentially fraudulent teams. Whoever loses this one are frauds. Both teams have won against bad teams, lost against good teams. Now they kind of get to prove their mettle against each other. For the Panthers, is Mike Nolan going to do it? Is he really going to take Bryce Perkins out of the game and put in Danny Etling? Some people would say he'd be crazy to do it, but I've been saying that for weeks now, and he still does it. So anything is on the table for this Panthers team. For the Battlehawks, it's going to be Duggan, but they got the high-ho Silver, Brandon Silvers, as a backup just in case. Now, Silvers hasn't played at all this week, or this season, or this year, or in a while, but he knows the system. He's a sturdy guy, and one thing I've always said about Brandon Silvers is you know what you're going to get. So if Duggan doesn't work out, he's there for relief. I think the Battlehawks will need to muck this one up, rely on their stellar defense, and kind of, kick the Panthers to death. Because Goggles, Rodrigo, beautiful kicker. Michigan. Perkins, you got it right, Perkins. He's electric. And as long as he doesn't get hurt, you have a shot to win any game. Both defenses I like in this matchup. I think it's going to be very feisty. I think it's going to be a battle. And it's going to come down to the wire. But I think St. Louis gets their revenge from the opener last year, and they win on a last-second field goal. Just a dagger into the hearts of the Michigan Panthers. Next up, we have the Arlington Renegades playing host to the DC Defenders. Oh, what a game. What a game of games. This one's always a classic. DC still pissed off at Arlington for what they did in 2023. But this is a matchup of excellent defenses and very fun quarterbacks. There's going to be a lot of ball slinging in this one and probably a decent amount of turnovers too. Because if there's one thing I know about Luis Perez and Jordan Ta'amu, they're going to provide some entertainment, whether that's for their team or against their own team. It's just something that happens. But this is a fun game. Both defenses are playing at an excellent level. The run game for the Renegades is on fire. And this is a battle for first place in the XFL conference. What more could you want out of a beautiful weekend football game than the high stakes, pounding, and great quarterback play? That should be a recipe for success. This is probably my pick for game of the week. I think it's going to be a very high scoring affair, but the defenses aren't going to be bad. The Renegades will fix their red zone woes. DC will just have a few key turnovers that keep them from winning this game, and the Renegades get the W to take sole possession of first place in the XFL conference.
Game number 4, we have the Houston Roughnecks taking on the San Antonio Brahmas, and honestly, much different vibe than last time. The last time these two teams faced off, they were trash, bottom of the league, couldn't do anything, and now they have a newfound hope. They have a hope for the future. They have fire in them. Jalen McClendon for the Roughnecks and Kellen Mond playing at an awesome level for the Brahmas. This is going to be an awesome matchup. Sleeper potential for game of the week. Very awesome. Very exciting. And I can't wait to see what happens. I'm excited for Party to see if he can keep the momentum for San Antonio going. I'm excited to see what dumb, crazy, funny things CJ does this week. And this game just has fun written all over it. I don't think the defenses are going to be anything to write home about. I don't think the actual play is going to be awesome, but I think the offense could be fun. And I think this game could be awesome and fun. And isn't that what we really want in the ending game of the weekend? We want it to cap off with just pure, unadulterated fun. That's what football and the UFL is all about. Yes.
And now I'm here and have a microphone, so let me just tell you some things I want to see and a couple hot takes. I want to see close games. I want to see great crowds. Shout out San Antonio, home opener this week. I'd love to see Memphis get a win, just for the sake of the franchise and all of the Showboats fans out there. I would also like to see all the new quarterbacks ball out and have extremely exciting games. And then some hot takes I got. Here's one for you. Jalen McClendon to have the best stats and the best showing of any quarterback this whole weekend. Boom. In your face there. Another hot take. I think Memphis Showboats, I think they're going to lose. Not a hot take, but I think they're going to lose very close, like a 3-point game. They're going to lose exactly by 3 to the Stallions. That's a little bit warmer for you. I think the St. Louis Battlehawks are going to win on a last-second kick. That's right. We're getting a little bit warmer now. A little bit hot. And I think the Brahmas versus the Roughnecks is going to be the most entertaining and exciting game of the weekend and have the best ratings. How do you like those apples, baby? And I'm going to have a blast no matter what.
And that'll do it, folks, for the Week 5 UFL preview with UFL Jim. We have a lot of exciting games coming up. We have a very fun week of chaos ahead of us. And I think it is up to us to just sit back, embrace it all. We have a nice doubleheader Sunday. You can plop down in front of your TV and just spend the entire day watching some amazing UFL football. I know that's what I'm doing.